minus pure. So in this particular chapter, we have studied about all the types of mixture here. Now let's continue here with the separation, with the next topic, which is the separation of mixture. As we have studied about the mixtures, two types of mixture, homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. So now we are going to study about that how we can separate the components of the mixture which has been formed out. Okay, so the separation of mixture can be termed as the method to separate the constituent particles which are present in our solution, which are present in our mixture. Okay, so there are various physical and chemical methods by using which we can change them, we can separate them. Some of them are magnetic separation, filtration, crystallization, chromatography, separating funnels, and many more. We are going to study here all these things in our chapter. Okay, now let's first classify the mixtures on the basis of their components, what type of components they are having. So a mixture can be having two solids. Okay, so the first type of mixtures can be a mixture of having two solids. Then second, mixture of a solid and liquids. Okay, of solids and liquids. Then the mixture of third type can be mixture of two liquids. Okay, so such type of mixtures can be classified. The mixtures can be classified on the basis of the types of component which are contained out there. So let's first see the separation of mixture which are containing two solids. Mixtures of two solids. How we can separate these mixtures? So the first method in this is by using suitable solvent. Okay, how we can separate the mixture of two solids by using a suitable solvent here. So let us take an example of a mixture of salt and sand. Okay, a mixture of salt and sand. By using a suitable solvent here, how you can separate this? Can you have a small idea about it? If you think really now, you can really have it. What to find out that which of these two components is dissolvable in any of the given solvent. Okay, so we know that salt can be dissolved in water easily. We can dissolve the salt in water easily. So what we will do, we will add water in this particular mixture, and what will happen, the salt which is present in this mixture will get dissolved in water, and then we can remove that water from here, and as we know that the salt is indissoluble in water, so the sand will be left out alone there, and the salt and water will be removed out from this particular mixture. Okay, so this type of methods can be used out to separate two solid mixtures. The second way to separate two solid is by sublimation. Okay, by sublimation. After voting, three total processes are there. One was to use suitable solvent, then by sublimation, and then by the filtration. All the three processes will be required in order to separate the salt and sand solution here. So what we will do, we will first add, if here in this container we are saying that here the salt and water sand mixture is there. So we will add water here. What we will do, we will add water here first. So on adding the water, what will happen? The salt and sand will mix with the water here. So we know that salt is soluble in water, but sand is not soluble in water. So the sand will form a suspension, but the salt and water will form a true solution here. So what was the way to separate a suspension? So it was the way that we must let the sand to sublimate down in this particular solution. So we will let this solution to be undisturbed for some time, and let the sand to settle down at the bottom of this container. When the sand will get settled out at the bottom of this container, then we will use a funnel with a filter paper. Okay, we will use a funnel with the filter paper here, and pour out this liquid which is present at the top of this particular solution. Okay, and we will pour that liquid in a next container, and we will get with the pure salt and water solution here, and the sand will be left out in this container. So here we have used all these three methods. What first, we have used a suitable solvent, then make the suitable solution there. Okay, then we have allowed to sublimate the sand. We have allowed the sublimation of the sand there. Then after that, the sublimation of sand when has been achieved, then we have filtered out the required solution, and the separation of the two solid mixtures has been seen out. Next is the sublimation. By sublimation, okay, next is by sublimation. So by sublimation we can separate sublimation. What was the process of sublimation? As we have studied before also, the sublimation is the process of converting solids directly into gases. Okay, it is the process of converting solids directly into the gases. Okay, solids directly into the gases. So here what we will do, we will take an example. Here I am taking salt, iron flakes or chalks. Okay, like this I have taken out here. Here by using the sublimation process also we can separate two of the solids, such as like ammonium chloride. If I am taking ammonium chloride, NH4Cl, it is been mixed with iodine or some other, say, camphor. Okay, it is been mixed with camphor. So on heating this particular mixture, what will happen? The camphor will get sublimate here, and the thing which will be left out there, it will be pure NH4Cl. Okay, so this is an example for your separation of two or more solids by using the method of sublimation. Okay, here we have heated this particular solution, and after heating we will see that the camphor will be sublimated here, and the left out thing will be there. It will be the ammonium chloride here, which was needed here. Okay, next is by magnetic separation. Also we can separate two of the solids. Magnetic separation. Okay, by the magnetic separation also we can separate two of the solutions, but here one of the two substances must be magnetic. So as I am taking an example for iron filling and a mixture of sulfur powder with it. Here I want to separate these two subcomponents of the solutions here. So what will I do? I will take the magnet near this particular mixture, then the iron, which is a magnetic substance, will get separated and it will get attracted towards the magnet there, and the left out will be the sulfur powder. The pure sulfur powder will be left out. Okay, let's move further and see the next type of method, where we are going to take the mixture of, where we are going to separate the components of mixture of a solid and a liquid. So the first is by simple filtration. By simple filtration we can do it by using the simple for insoluble substances. If we pass them through the filter paper, okay, then they will be collected in the filter paper and the pure liquid will be collected in another container there. Okay, so this was a method for where we can separate a solid and a liquid solution. Here the examples can be chalk plus water, chalk powder plus water, sand plus water, etc. Okay, like these substances can be easily filtered out, okay, because chalk powder and sand are insoluble in water. Next method is by centrifugation. Centrifugation. One of the best example is formation of butter for this. For the method of centrifugation is the formation of butter. As everybody has seen that the butter is been formed out by centrifugation of milk. Okay, so what we are doing, we are in Hindi we call it as mathna. Okay, so the curd is been centrifuged. Okay, curd is centrifuged. Curd is centrifuged to produce the butter, and the left out will be the buttermilk, there. Okay, so here the cream from the curd will be removed out, which is called as butter, and that butter is used for making different things, and the left out liquid which is left out there, it is known as the buttermilk. Okay, so this is the method of centrifuge. Also the separation of blood particles, okay, blood from RBC, WBC and platelets is also done by this method only. Okay, so the blood is separated into RBC, WBC and platelets by the centrifugation method only. Okay, a machine is being used out there in order to centrifuge all these things. Next is by evaporation. Next process is the evaporation. So when we are dissolving salt in water, so on heating that particular solution we will get salt back. Okay, we will get the salt back by the evaporation method. Next is the crystallization. Okay, next method is the crystallization. So in crystallization, a solution is being heated. Then it is allowed to cool down. Okay, then it is allowed to cool down, but the cooling is done gradually. And due to this reason, the solutions, the solid particles which are present in this solution, the molecules collide with each other, and they start to precipitate means they start to convert into solids and get settled down in the solution. So this type of formation is known as crystallization, and as we will let the solution to cool down more, the precipitation will increase and more large crystals will be formed out there. Okay, more large crystals will be formed out there. Therefore this process is known as crystallization process. So generally the crystals which are formed by this process only. Okay, such as we want to form a crystal of CuSO4. So we will take the CuSO4 and then we will mix it with water and then heat it and then let it cool down slowly. Okay, so during this process we will see that the crystal formation is been seen out there. Next is the chromatography. Generally this method is used to separate two or more solids which are dissolved in liquid solutions. Okay, so a paper which is known as Whatman filter paper, it is been used here for the chromatography. This Whatman filter paper is been dipped in the solution which has to be separated. So what will happen? This Whatman filter paper separates that particular solution which has to be separated is been mixed with a volatile solvent first. Okay, it has been mixed with a volatile solvent first. Then this Whatman filter paper is been added to it. So this Whatman filter paper, when we are adding this Whatman filter paper, then what will happen? Here slowly the solvent, the solute which is been used out here, it will get changed, and at different levels we will see that the separation of the different materials is been seen. So different color layers will be formed out there. Okay, different colored layers will be found out there, and that different layers will be showing us the different separation of the substances there. Okay, let's say if I am saying here that different layers, such as this green layer has been formed out, this red layer has been formed out, and this blue layer has been formed out. So these three colored layers are showing the separation of the three different substances here, which is done by this particular method, and this method is known as the chromatography method. Okay, this is known as the chromatography method. Next is the distillation. For obtaining pure liquids, okay, from a solution, this method is generally used. So what is distillation? In distillation, the solution is being heated. Okay, the solution is being heated, and then the vapors which are formed, that vapor is passed, from the cooling tower. Okay, it is passed with a cooling tower. As you know that the solid particles cannot be easily converted to vapors. Okay, so the solid particles will be remained up in the heating funnel only, in the heating chamber only, and the vapors of the liquids which are formed, they will travel towards the cooling tower, and there they will cool down and they will be conducted in another container there. So this is known as the distillation process. Next is the separation of two or more liquids. Okay, next is the separation of two or more liquids. Mixture of two or more liquids. How we can separate two or more liquids which are separated together, okay, which are mixed together? First is the fractional distillation. This method is used to separate the petroleum products. Okay, petroleum products. So as we know that the products which are obtained by the mining of petroleum, crude oil is there. Okay, it is the crude oil. So here what is done, the first thing is done is that the obtained crude oil is heated to a very high temperature, and here fractional columns are being formed out. Here in this particular chamber, which is known as the fractional distillation chamber, okay, here in this chamber we form different fractional separations. Okay, here we are forming different fractional separations, and at particular temperature the temperature will be changing. Let's say that this particular crude oil is being heated till 600 degrees Celsius. Okay, so at 600 degrees Celsius the crude oil will be heated, and due to this reason only that particular substance which is known as the coal tar. Okay, coal tar or tar, also it is known as tar, the damer. Okay, this damer will be left out there, and all other components of this crude oil will get vaporized here. Okay, then here the coal tar will be separated at the lowest bottom. Then as the vapors get upside in the frictional distillation chamber, here the temperature will be gradually decreased. And on decreasing the temperature, the different substances will be the different substances will be separated at different layer or different positions of this particular chamber, and at last here at the uppermost part we will find out that the liquefied petroleum gas or the natural gas has been obtained. It means that the liquefied petroleum gas is having the lowest temperature of boiling here, while the other substances which are obtained, generally the petrol has been obtained at the second position. Okay, the petrol has been obtained at the second. Above it is naphthalene. Okay, naphthalene. Here below the first starts from the fuel. Fuel? What fuel we call them? Tanker fuels. Okay, tanker fuels. Then about tanker fuels, diesel or gasoline is been obtained. Okay, in between some more things are obtained. Like this, the hierarchy has been made out. So at the above most, we will see that we are getting the propane gas or the LPG gas, which is having the lowest boiling point or lowest vaporization point here. Okay, so this process is known as fractional distillation. Next is by using the separating funnel. Okay, next is by using the separating funnel. So a separating funnel looks like this. Okay, a separating funnel looks like this. Here a tap like is there. Here a tap like is there, and this is the tap. So if I am having two immiscible liquids, means the two liquids which cannot be mixed with each other, they are floating on each other, then that type of particular liquids can be removed here. Okay, so here if I am having a mixture of oil and water, so I will put that particular mixture here. So we will see that after some time the oil will float at the surface of the water, and the left out here at downside will be the water, and the upside will be the layer of the oil will be there. Upside there will be a layer of the oil, and the down will be the, at the down position there will be the water will be present out here. So as I will start the tap here, okay, as I will start the tap here, and the water which is present here, it will get to collect in the bottom container here, and as the water is being finished out from this particular separating funnel, then I will close this tap. So I will left out with the oil only in this particular separating funnel. Okay, so the immiscible liquids can be easily separated by using this separating funnel. Okay, by using this separating. So these were some of the methods by which we can separate the mixtures. Okay,